So today we're at the Grand Boulevard in Corona, California, and there were several Grand Prix races held at this street circuit back in 1913, 1914, and in 1916. And so the Grand Boulevard was actually created kind of in the early stages of the city of Corona being developed, and it's pretty much exactly 3 miles around, and it was created by H. Clay Kellogg, who was a civil engineer for the city, and created it in 1886. And so at that time, Corona was actually referred to as South Riverside, and so they wanted something unique for the town. And so the concept of a circular boulevard surrounding Main Street bisects it. And so they created a design that would have some unique character, and so eventually it was put into place. And you can see here, as we're about to now, where I'm driving, you're going to see me enter into some of the older areas, and there's some homes from, I think there's one or two from kind of back in those pre-World War I days, and so maybe standing on the front step of a couple of these older homes that we're going to see on the right and the left up here in a little bit. You can kind of imagine watching these cars fly by. You know, as Barney Oldfield said, a race car could maintain 95 miles per hour on the course and could make 120 miles per hour for short distances. A lot of that was due to high tire wear. I mean, this is a circle, and so you are scrubbing your tires. The faster you go, there's more likely to be scrubbing of your tires and quicker tire wear, and you're running on, of course, pre-war tires. So, and the thing is about this track was, at the time, the best speeds outside on any other real tracks was 84.3 miles per hour. And so everything got set up, and in 1912 the community was kind of looking for something to bring attention to the new growing community, and they had this circular track that was perfect, and you know, speeds were going to be good there. Probably one of the fastest tracks, if not the fastest track in the world. Definitely the fastest city track in the world. And so things kind of got really rolling in 1912 for the idea of, let's get some attention. John H. Flagler, a prominent Eastern businessman and owner of the El Cerrito Ranch, got involved, and he donated the Flagler Trophy, which was used for all 3 races and is still held by the family of the winner of the last race. And so the Auto Club, who put on the race, worked closely with the city engineer, Mr. Goley, and they prepared the boulevard, and so they had to, roll the gravel and be able to sustain that the pavement had to be such as it would hold 6,000 pounds, running at speeds of over 90 miles per hour. And there were 84 intersections to contend with. Intersection kind of like this one we're sitting at right now. And so this is Main Street, so we're exactly 50% of the way around the circle. So as you can see, especially at 35 miles per hour I'm limited to, it takes a while. There's definitely a lot less intersections nowadays. But so back to the story. The streets were cleaned, cement sidewalks were put in, trees, flowers, new lawns were put in, local businesses decorated with attractive flags and banners. There was tons of, little trinkets available, postcards, things like that. And the grandstands were ready by September 1st. They were able to hold 30,000 people. The winner's purse was going to be $11,000, which was the highest prize of that year. And so they were hoping to attract race car drivers from all over the world for this race. And they really did. And on September 9th, 1913 was the first race. And so hundreds of people came in. The towns were booked. Traffic was terrible. And it went off without a hitch. And it was a huge success. Crowds were deemed between 65,000 to 100,000. 2 world records were broken during the course of the races. And Earl Cooper, 27 years old, won the first road race in his number 8 Stutz race car. And he broke the world record for the medium car event at 3 hours, 21 minutes, 29 and a half seconds. And then he went on also to win the free-for-all event, which was later, for a time of 4 hours, 2 minutes, and 38 seconds. And he was the local Californian, so he's pretty popular, and it was a really good, kind of everyone was really excited. And there was only minor injuries. No one was killed, and so ultimately it worked really well. And the 91, the medium car, it was a 91 lap event for the first purse, and then the drivers who wanted stayed out and went another 19 laps to get the second purse. So it was kind of a unique style. So, and as we just saw, you drove past some of the older homes just there, and so now we're a quarter of the way, or 3/4 of the way through this circle, and so it's kind of there's not a ton of historic houses or things to look at left, which is kind of a bummer, but I think it's still cool to be able to say I drove on a track that, racing greats drove on and risked their lives. And so they held another race in 1914, and they learned a lot from the first one. They were a lot smoother in terms of tickets and marketing the race and hotels and traffic. And so the average speed for the second race was 87, or the average speed for the winner, Eddie Pullen, who won his number 4 Mercer race car. He won it in 3 hours, 26 minutes, and 2 seconds with an average speed of 87.76 miles per hour. And he received $4,000 for winning the race and an additional $2,000 for breaking the world record. And there were no races in 1915. There was the war in Europe was demanding attention, and it was just a lot of excuses. Teachers complaining about kids missing and stuff like that. And also the track though had been damaged by flooding, and so the road surface, so they had to do some repairs on that. But in 1916 it came back. However, the race was marred with tragedy as Wild Bob Berman was killed during the race and died at Riverside County Hospital. And that kind of really affected, plus World War I, kind of led to the end of the event. But ultimately the final winner was Eddie O'Donnell, who won the race, and his family still holds the Flagler Trophy as a recognition of the event. And so that's kind of the story of the Corona races. And I'm glad you watched this video. I'm just a casual sim racer, and I hope you continue to watch my other videos and things like that. This is something I'm going to try to do in the future if I'm near any other locations where old Grand Prix races were held. I'm going to try to drive them and post them, and I don't know how popular videos these are going to be, but I think they're good historical documentation of what the old tracks look like today, and maybe there'll even be some landmarks that are still around that people who maybe want to mod and create a track, or even a developer might want to use my video, or just get the idea to go out to the track themselves and just get a feeling from some of the sections, especially kind of that third quarter of the track. Some of those older homes really just felt really cool when I was driving around, and I just think that was probably the best part. Really kind of for a second you could just imagine would have been like standing on the front step of one of those homes, watching those classic race cars drive around in a day where speed was king and, really the dawn of racing.